hey, we're hanging out in Quartzsite today. We've got 3 reasons you'll love Quartzsite, 3 reasons you might actually hate Quartzsite, and 5 areas that you can go camp if you do not want to stay in the long-term visitor areas. So the 3 reasons that we think that you'll love the Quartzsite area for camping in the wintertime.
Community.
Number 1 is community. Yeah, there are RVers all over the place, and you can absolutely find people that you are going to have a blast hanging out with. There are a lot of people that come here and meet up with friends year after year after year, and there's places to kind of corral up and camp as a group, or kind of meet up at a different point in time. So community is definitely number 1. What's number 2?
A lot of facilities. I mean, you got trash, you got water.
Yes. So if you're like us and you don't actually want to park yourself somewhere for an entire season, you actually want to travel, Quartzsite is a really nice place to go when you are traveling between destinations that are in the southwest area of the United States. Obviously, we're here in Arizona. So if you want to just hang out in one of the 14-day free camping areas and you are coming off of boondocking somewhere else, there are places where you can dump your trash for free. You can fill up your fresh water at a very cheap rate. You can dump your waste tanks at cheap rates as well. So it's kind of like a great stop when you're coming off the road. Hang out here for another 14 days, and then do the same thing on your way out of town. Dump your trash, dump your tanks, fill up on your fresh water before you go to your next boondocking location. So it's super RV friendly. It's almost like this whole area was made for RVers. Site our number 3 is, I don't know, look up at the sun, right?
The weather, yeah.
The weather is fantastic. You can't get any better
for the most part
than
it's
this
windy
in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So especially if you're coming out of a cold climate, you know, in the upper Midwest or somewhere like that, we have like almost sunshine every day, and the daytime temperatures, we're here right now in January, the daytime temperatures are mild, and they are usually around in the 60s or 70s for a daytime high. Overnight lows get a lot chillier than that, so you can get down into the 40s is pretty average. You might actually get below freezing. Every once in a while, there's actually snow that falls here, and it's not very frequently, and it doesn't last very long if it does happen. So the temperatures are mild, and the days are almost always sunny. So those are the 3 reasons we think that you might actually love Quartzsite. The 3 things that might actually turn you off to the area would include, let's see, number 1, you probably have noticed how much traffic is going by on the road, that we're standing next to the 95, and there's a lot of traffic here, but there's also a ton of traffic in town. And the campgrounds, if they're busy, they can get kind of crowded too. So it's congested, but there's a reason. This is one of the most popular places for snowbirds to go in the wintertime to escape those crazy freezing temperatures in other parts of the country. So it gets crowded. The second thing that you might not like about the area, we like to eat, right, Pete?
Yeah.
We don't do any shopping here in Quartzsite. There is really like no kinds of real grocery stores. They've got like Dollar Generals and smaller kind of stores where you can pick up that kind of thing, like your consumables, like paper towel, toilet paper, and your food and stuff like that. So if you want to do any real grocery shopping, you're going to need to go to one of the nearby towns. The 2 towns that are the closest that have like real facilities, like Walmart and bigger grocery store chains and stuff like that.
Probably.
Parker to the north, Yuma to the south. There's a little bit of shopping in Blythe, California as well, and that's kind of close by. But other than that, because it's so crowded here, a lot of the places that sell groceries actually run out of groceries. You might not be able to find what you want, and definitely you might suffer if you're looking for some nice fresh produce or that kind of thing. The third reason you can probably see, yes, it's wind and dust.
Not a big fan.
And if you aren't a fan of hanging out in the desert, we don't mind desert camping, and we definitely are boondockers. So we're used to either dusty roads or like dirt roads if we're kind of up in higher elevations and there's not as much dust, but there is like a lot of dirt. You'll find like gravel roads all over the place. And if you've got neighbors that are, riding ATVs or they're driving super fast through campgrounds, it gets dusty. So if you're the kind of RVer that actually likes to have a really clean rig and not want to go off pavement, then Quartzsite is definitely not for you. So because we are not long-termers and we don't stay at the LTVAs, we want to be nearby to visit our friends that actually do stay at them. So instead of paying the fee to stay at for a short amount of time, we prefer to actually stay in the BLM campgrounds that are in the same general area. There's 5 of them, and you can stay for 14 days for no cost at all. The benefit of being in the LTVAs, the long-term visitor areas, is that right there within your fee, you have the ability to throw your trash in a dumpster in a centralized location. There's also a centralized location where you can fill up with fresh potable water, and then there's also a place for you to dump, whether you pull your trailer in and dump your black and gray tanks, or you use a tote and bring everything over to that central dump station. So that's the benefit of staying in the LTVAs versus staying for free in the 14-day campgrounds. So because we like to travel and we like to kind of keep moving, and we actually live in Phoenix, so when we come down here, we're staying for shorter visits. We might be going to a rally. We might be just kind of coming to hang out a little bit, with a little different scenery than home. We're looking for the free, shorter term stuff. So we're going to show you 5 of those campgrounds that we just mentioned earlier that are free to stay in for 14 days. You don't have to buy any kind of permit. You do have to check in. Every one of them has a host. So the host will check you in and give you a permit. You stay for free, and then they'll kick you out if you try to stay more than 14 days. So we're gonna see 3 of them that are on the south side of I-10, and then we're gonna go cross I-10 and then see the other 2 that are on the north side. And we're also gonna show you as we're driving around, because we've got some errands to do today. We are out of fresh water in our rig right now, so we're gonna show you where we fill up our water and hopefully point out where we dump our trash, and also where we are going to dump our black and gray tanks on our way out of town. It won't be today, but we'll show you where that place is too. So let's go hit the road.
Ready? Let's go.
Yeah. So we're turning off of the US 95 right now onto 53rd Street North, and we're heading towards the La Paz community, and there is Roadrunner. So here we are at our first campground. We're at the Roadrunner. This is one of the free 14-day limit BLM campgrounds. And as you come around here, they've got some information, and this is actually super handy because this is going to show you all of the 5 campgrounds that we're going to visit today. So we are at Roadrunner here. This is our number 1. It's on their list number 2. And here's a map. And it really is nice because it shows you, like, in relation to the LTVAs, which are the long-term visitor center areas where some of your friends might be staying for the entire winter. And it helps to see where we are in relation to the big cities. So Phoenix that way, Blythe that way. And then I don't know if it shows, it doesn't, but Yuma is to our south, and then Parker is up to the north. And then the town of Quartzsite is over here. So all of the BLM stuff is, actually this is the La Posa, but the BLM stuff is kind of scattered around actually on both sides of I-10. So right now we're on the south side of I-10, just off of 95. You're supposed to check in with the camp host, and you get a permit here. So you can see there's all different types of rigs here, from home built to big expensive motorhomes and everything in between. The one great thing about the desert is that if you are set up with solar, you are going to pretty much be able to enjoy your time here without ever having to turn on a generator. Here's some bigger rigs, and look at the amount of solar that they have on their roofs. You can see how wide open the area is. There's lots of spots, campfire rings all over the place. So this is completely dispersed, pack it in, pack it out You got no services here whatsoever, and so you need to be fully self-contained. The one thing that's kind of funny about all these places is everything's just kind of spread out. You might find a sign here and there, but usually you have to kind of help people to find you if you've got somebody meeting up. Like people would normally drive to the gate, the turnoff gate, and meet you so that you can follow them to their campsite, because these kind of little paths just twist and turn all over the place out here. So we're here in the Roadrunner campground right now, and this is one of the smaller campgrounds in the 5 that we're going to go visit today. It's actually one of the popular areas for ham radio operators and other people that kind of have similar interests. Kind of smaller groups of people will congregate here. It's very close. You saw how quick we got off of the 95 and turned in here. So you do get a little bit of road noise. Whenever you see mountains in Quartzsite, you usually will find a lot of ATV off-road vehicles because they're really popular out here. So some of the campgrounds that are closest to those trails will have a lot of that kind of vehicle traffic in the campground as well. It is forecast to get a little bit more windy. So we'll see how the weather progresses with us through the day. I've got 2 bars of LTE as we sit here at Roadrunner, and this is kind of mediocre cell signal here. I've got Verizon, and it's working just fine for us today. See the size of these rigs, these things, and how open this space is here. You can completely get any size rig in these places. These rigs over here on the left side of me are all parked in a little circle with each other, and that's kind of what people will do if they want to create their own little group with their own little kind of like patio between them all. Now we'll head off to our next campground. All right, we just experienced Roadrunner, and now we're back on 95. We're heading over to the Dome Rock 14-day BLM camping area. As we drive north on 95, you can see over here we're entering the long-term visitor area camping spots, and there are going to be some on the right and some on the left side of the road here. The first one that we're coming up on, actually there's 2 that are kind of like across from each other on the road. So we are heading north. So the one that's on the east side of 95 here is La Posa South. And then on the left side is the La Posa Tyson Wash. And those are both LTVAs. And we're going to continue going past those, heading north still on 95, going more towards the town of Quartzsite. On our right side, and then also on our left side, we're passing La Posa North and La Posa West as we approach the vendor area and the big tent. I think you might be able to see that off to our left here. And it's going to be, I think, about a week before the Quartzsite, oh, here it is, January 18th through the 26th this year, 2025. So they're setting that tent up, and should be another great big show. I guess they're adding, how many square feet are they adding?
600, I heard.
600?
Not square feet, 600 feet of tent or something.
600 square feet of tent they're adding this year. Yeah, so that should be a bigger, better than ever show again this year. It just keeps getting bigger. This is sort of the main drag on the south side of I-10, where all of the camping and all of the activities kind of happen. This is a popular area to come and hang out. There's lots of vendors, and there's a couple of little like a bar, restaurant, kinds of things in here. And this can get super crowded in the vendor area, and you can actually have a really hard time finding a parking spot. They have lots of stuff to choose from, and just shop till you drop out here. If you can't find a parking spot on the main road, off to the right here, you're going to see a little parking lot, which usually has parking for, you can usually find a spot in that area for parking. So we're by the Tyson Wells, the little store that's there. This place is like a ghost town in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it just explodes. I've heard that the population goes to like in the hundreds of thousands in the wintertime. I don't know. That maybe, but wow, that's a lot of people for this little tiny town. You can see here that we are on a frontage road. We are actually paralleling I-10 right now, and we are heading westbound. This is where you're going to find some fuel and some fast food restaurants. You can see the McDonald's, Carl's Jr., that kind of thing up here. And then also a Love's and Pilot truck stops. And those are really nice to have when you're coming in and you're towing on your way inbound or outbound and needing to fuel. There's a lot of other gas stations if you're unhooked from your rig and you are just needing to top off with gas, when you're not towing, where you don't need a lot of maneuvering space. And so we're going to be doing that today as well. We're getting a little bit low on gas and we're almost ready to head on to our next destination. So it's errand day for us. It's a good day for it because it's windy and it's kind of like a not great weather day when it gets a little extra windy. So this is a good day to get our errands done.
Areas, and then on this side, that has, hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
All
And
right.
then this one is just Quartzsite,
Okay.
but this one on this side is more maybe what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Like
looks
that.
more like
Wonderful.
perfect.
Yep. You
All right.
color?
No, I don't, but I should. Why? What do you have?
Well, we have these little things like this. You can color, or you can,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
yeah,
It's cute.
things like that.
Yeah, little crossword puzzles. And things.
And if you're planning on going to Alcadones,
What's Alcadones?
if you need,
That's
Yeah.
Mexico.
yeah,
For a lot of people go there to get prescriptions, right?
teeth and their eyes.
Okay.
It's
Can you get them both done at the same time?
Well, it depends on what you need done.
How
Yeah.
long have you been around here?
Probably 15 years.
Yeah. Where did
Not
you
in
come
the
from?
summer.
Where do you go in the summer?
To Nevada.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, we're so glad you stopped by. And
Yeah.
now the only requirement you have to in Quartzsite is have fun and relax.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for the permission. We will do that.
My name is Jonelle,
All right.
and you're
Keith.
Pete.
Yep.
And I'm
that's
Kim.
Kim.
Yes.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you
We're
too.
so happy you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you're not happy, then leave your stuff at home.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
There's a camper on our where we're camped out right now that has a sign that's got a frown face with a slash through it. So if you're one of those cranky people, you're not welcome here.
I like that.
I do too. I thought it was a great idea. I think we need to make one for ourselves.
Have fun.
Thank
All right,
you.
that's the key.
Thank you. Thank you for all the information too.
You're entirely welcome.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See
Bye-bye.
you later. Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, we are now in the Dome Rock Mountain free 14-day camping area. And this is one of my favorite places because it doesn't feel like any of the other places in Quartzsite. As you can see, there are mountains surrounding us all the way around. And it is not flat. So if you have a challenge, getting kind of level, it might be here. So you got to make sure that you are prepared to level with plenty of blocks and all that kind of stuff. But I personally love this area because it is so beautiful with all the mountains. And the other thing that I really like about it is all this desert landscape that's around. It doesn't feel like you are parked in a, gravel parking lot. With all of the washes and all of the natural vegetation, it automatically causes the campsites to be farther apart. So that is one huge benefit. You're elevated too. The farther you go into the area, the higher you go in elevation, the more distant views that you can see. And the Quartzsite area is over that direction. And then up here to the north, you've got I-10. There's a ton of traffic that travels between LA and Phoenix on that road, and that happens 24 hours a day. It is nonstop. As far as we're concerned, it is just kind of like white noise. It doesn't bother us, but if road noise bothers you, you might not like it here as much. The other thing that we really like is that it can handle big rigs. So you can see some of the bigger rigs, the bigger toy haulers, the bigger fifth wheels are a little bit lower, but you can pretty much get a rig into a lot of spots. There's some that are back there closer up, more tucked away in the mountains and higher up, bigger fifth wheels. You can maneuver around here. So this can handle bigger rigs. This road that we travel down a little bit here is a road that goes all the way to Blythe. It's a pipeline road. So there's an underground pipeline, and you can get from here all the way to Blythe without going on any real road. So that's kind of cool, especially if you're into ATVs. Pretty decent cell coverage here. I'm actually getting 4 bars right now on our Verizon package. And the other thing that you'll find here is there's a lot of people that have club meetups that are into metal detecting. So if you're into metal detecting, you might want to join up with one of those clubs and enjoy exploring in the desert. Okay, so we're pulling into this next campground, and I don't know if it's pronounced Scaddan or Scaddan Wash, because I've heard it pronounced several different ways. So here we are at, I'm going to just call it Scaddan Wash, and another 14-day area for free camping on BLM land. And this is right adjacent to I-10. You're going to get a little bit of freeway noise here. This is a lot flatter, but this is the closest campground to the actual town of Quartzsite. So that's one of the reasons that this is a really popular campground. Just like the rest of them, if you're going to camp here, you got 2 weeks free. You need to check in with the host, let them know you're here, and set up. Here we are at the main intersection at 95 and Kewen Street, and that's where all the vendors are. We're going to actually cross the freeway and head north on 95 for our 2 campgrounds to visit, both of the campgrounds that are actually on the north side of the freeway. This is where we're going to actually see some of the town of Quartzsite. If you are needing any kind of laundry facilities or fuel, or the little, the small, tiny little market, grocery-ish stores, that kind of thing, you'll find all of that in this area. There's a couple of restaurants, and it's they've got more vendors here as well. They're usually down the street here by the McDonald's. There's a group of them set up, but this is the kind of more the regular town part of Quartzsite. And as we go up here, we're going to pass a few things that might be helpful if you need them for your stay. I believe we're going to be coming up on the dump pretty soon, aren't we, Pete? Is that up here? So here's some of the RV parks. So this is the Shady Lane RV Park off to the right, open year round. So they do have actual, like, real RV parks here. And you know, if you're not happy with hanging out in the desert, then that's always a really nice option to do an RV park. Pit stop over here on the right. This is water, ice, and dump. So we'll be dumping here on our way out of town. Propane too. That's a fast dump spot. Look at all the spots that they have over there to dump. It can't get busy enough for you to be in a big line there. They've got so many stations there. It's really nice and clean. So we're going to continue going north, and the first campground that we're going to come up on is the High Jolly campground. All right, there's our sign. High Jolly 14-day camping area. register with the hosts. Wow, this is one of the busiest campgrounds that we've seen so far today. I didn't realize it was so busy on the north side of the freeway. Here we are at High Jolly Campground, and as you can see, as we were driving in, and you'll see with the overhead drone shot that Pete's doing right now, this is one of the busiest campgrounds that we will see today. And one of the reasons is it's smaller than the others, so it fills up faster. And also its proximity to the town of Quartzsite is really convenient, being on the north side of the freeway, and right down the road you'll find all of those services. You'll see almost a ring around the back side of this campground with rigs almost like head to tail along that area where there's a wash behind there. And the reason is you have kind of a nice little view of some desert landscape, and you've got a lot of privacy because there's nobody that's parked behind you. So you've got neighbors on the front side, but you don't have neighbors on your backside. So that is really nice and gives you a little added privacy versus taking in one of these spots that's sort of in the center of the campground and you've got, neighbors kind of surrounding you all over the place. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that there's a lot of ATV trails in this area. So this is really popular with people that have ATVs, and the cell coverage isn't too bad. I've got 3 bars here. Again, we're on Verizon, so it's pretty decent cell coverage, and you've got some distant mountain views around. So, it's a nice spot. Now we're going to head off to our last spot that is the furthest north of all of the 5 options. We're Jolly, leaving High Jolly, and heading up to our furthest north point campground, which is Plomosa. Look at all the people going to Plomosa Road. Wonder if they're all going to the Plomosa campground, or if they're going to the community park. Here we are, 14-day limit, Plomosa Road. There's the host station. Host is currently off duty. We respect that sign. When you're off duty, when the host is off duty, you don't bother the host because, we were camp hosts over the summer up on the rim, and we worked 4 days a week. So on those couple of days that we were off, we were still working, but we weren't officially on duty. But it's nice when people kind of respect you, when you got your sign out, when you're trying to have some dinner or have some people over for, a couple of hours. How cute is the little garden? The one thing that is really different about the Plomosa Road campground area is that you are actually driving in on a 2-lane paved road. And the sites it's a really big area. The sites are super spread out. It doesn't feel like one gigantic gravel parking lot. It feels almost like there's almost like little neighborhoods or something, where there's groups where you can pull off and lots of campsites, but it doesn't just kind of go on forever. It's just, but the area does go on forever, but it doesn't feel like that. I think part of the reason is because of this nice paved road that brings you in here. And of course, it's really easy to get deep into the campground when you're on a paved road. Oh my gosh, that's a gigantic group. The Dream Cruisers. Oh, that's a cute name.
What is it?
Dream Cruisers. I think that's what the sign said. They actually even have a sign. We're far enough north of I-10 here where you're probably not going to get a whole lot of road noise. But we're only about 10 miles from Tyson Wells and even closer to the actual downtown area of Quartzsite. We've got some beautiful distant mountain views here. And the wind today is heading from here to the freeway. So even if there was freeway noise, it would be carried away from this campground. If the winds were reversed, I'm not sure how How loud it would actually be here, we haven't been here when the winds were this direction, so I can't say that for sure. You can see the signs. There are groups all over the place. So this is a really nice group meeting spot. What is this? Wandering Individuals Network. Look at their big sign, or their big flag on top of that A-class. Okay, we are in the Plomosa Road campground area, and this is one of the biggest areas, and the spots are so spread out. It is just amazing out here. You can see how much room there is between all of the rigs, and there's a lot of people that come here with groups because there is so much room to park. And the really nice thing out here is that you got a little bit of desert in between all of the kind of parking areas. And also look at the color of the rock. It looks kind of like, almost like what we call landscape rock in Phoenix. And so it doesn't look like that kind of cementy gray color of rock. So to me, it feels a lot prettier for that reason. There's distant mountains in the background over this way, and actually all the way around, 360 degrees mountains in the distance. The spots are relatively flat and wide open, so easy to park, easy to level, and easy to maneuver. And I'm getting 4 bars of Verizon signal right now. It's so spread out. You can see how the people are so far in the distance. So it gives you the ability to have a lot of privacy, and it definitely has a lot of desert landscape out here. So it feels way different than like you're parked in a gravel parking lot. So we love that. This is actually, of the 5 campgrounds, this one is our favorite one for all of those reasons. And yeah, so hopefully this is one that you might want to come and try out. By the way, here in the desert, we kind of expect what we call Arizona pinstripes on our vehicles. And that is that when you're going through desert areas that have brush and plants with thorns and pricklers and stuff like that, you can expect that your vehicle is going to get some scratches. Usually these can buff out, but sometimes they don't. So I just wanted to share with you what our truck looks like today. I don't know if you can see these, but let me see if I step aside so my reflection's not in there. But these that we have today should be able to just kind of buff out, but sometimes they are, these are just in the dirt that's on our truck right now. But you might find that they actually go, kind of scratch the clear coat or actually get into your paint depending on how tight it is. So we hope that you enjoyed our tour of Quartzsite and all the possibilities for camping in a short-term situation, 14-day free camping, gotta love it. And if you have any questions, leave us a comment. We would love to help you out. Also, wanted to let you know that in addition to these 5 free campgrounds, there is another secret spot that we love that is not part of BLM, but it is also free 14-day camping. It is part of the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge, and we're actually camping there right now. We did a video on this not too long ago. I'll leave a link in the description below for that. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. If you have any questions on that, let us know, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.